Now you gotta strip the whole thing to bare metal if you ever want to repaint it. You can't paint over that stuff. How y'all doing? I'm Big Al, and welcome back to the garage. If you're new to the channel, please take a moment to like and subscribe. We are so close to 500 subscribers. And when I get to 500, at the appropriate viewing hours, all kinds of cool stuff gets to happen for this channel. So please, subscribe if you want to see some cool projects happen. And if and when I do get to 500, I will be doing my first ever live stream Ask Me Anything video. Now, on to what we're doing today. More Turbo Can stuff. We are going to we're going to test, I should say, a persistent myth about the Rustoleum Turbo Can. When I repainted my Corvair's rear deck lid with it, I posted a photo of the results on the Corvair group. A bunch of them chime in, now you gotta strip the whole thing to bare metal if you ever want to repaint it. You can't paint over that stuff. I figured, you know what? Let's put that to the test. Proof is in the pudding. I'm actually recording this intro after the fact, so I know what the results are. But we're going to do a couple of experiments. I painted both a piece of cardboard and a couple of metal cans to test this myth. I tested it with farm and implement paint, which is a popular choice for low buck restorations, acrylic lacquer, and actual Duplicolor car paint. So, without further ado, let's do some science! Okay, so we've got our cardboard here that I shot with some Rustoleum Turbo Can. I mean, it looks rough because it's cardboard. Our first test, we're going to use the farm and implement on this first panel here and see what happens when you spray it over Turbo Can paint. Ah, shoot. Couple of fish eyes. If that's just from spraying it on too fast or what. Middle one, we're going to use some lacquer. This Rustoleum acrylic lacquer. See what happens. There's the tractor paint accidentally. Wow, that goes on thick. Okay, yeah, it's fish eyeing. That's probably not good. Now, let's see what happens when we use actual Duplicolor car paint. No ill effects whatsoever. Alright. So I guess that answers that. Okay, so after my initial test of the different paints, I realized you guys are going to rake me over the coals in the comments for doing it on cardboard and not metal. Well, the only metal I have around that I don't care about are these old cans. Well, we're going to do it properly. We're going to shoot them with this Rustoleum automotive primer. It's like I would on a car. These are cans, they don't have to be perfect. The object is to just see how the paint reacts. Alright. When that dries, I'll shoot it with the Turbo Can, and then our three types of paint. Phase 2, we spray them with the Turbo Can paint. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let that dry. Okay, so test 1, Rustoleum Farm and Implement. Couple of bubbles, but I don't know if those were imperfections that were already there. We're going to do the acrylic lacquer. Well, went on there with a lot of orange peel, but terrible. Last, I'm going to do this duplicolor. Let's see what happens. Again, I got overspray. Ooh, duplicolor went on just fine. So, I am going to say that you can't paint over Turbo Can Paint. Myth busted. Alright, well there you have it, folks. Let's just take a rundown of the results real quick. This is the can that I painted with the tractor and implement paint. There is some, like, I guess that's called fish eyeing or whatever in there. And that happened on both the cardboard test and the can test. So I wanted to see what happened when you just paint something with tractor paint. So I took this handy-dandy piece of campaign literature, which we got buttloads of during the primary we had a couple weeks ago. See, they're good for something. And I did not see any of the bubbling or fisheye in there. So, I guess you can't, or probably shouldn't, do tractor paint over Rustoleum Turbo Can Paint. Now, here is the one I did with the lacquer. Other than the fact there's silver overspray on it from my other test, it looks pretty good. No real fisheyeing or anything that you can't correct with wet sanding, or which you would have to do anyway with other types of paint. You can't just shoot it on there and call it done. Even though I've done that. And our final test, after it's been sitting a while, this is Turbo Can Paint that's had duplicolor painted over it. Looks great. So they do play nice with each other. So yes, myth is mostly busted. You can paint lacquer and duplicolor automotive paint over Turbo Can Paint just fine. But the farm and implement paint, not so much. You did get some imperfections in it. So that's it for today. If you'd like me to do a similar myth with painting over this stuff, let me know in the comments. Till then, again, please mash that like button, and I hope then come join me on the next installment. Gotta love it when I muck up the ending like that, huh?